Okay. How do I feel the Envoy process is working? I like how the Envoy process is working. I feel it gives every guild a fair voice. We used to have it, the Envoy process about 4 years ago. There was an unofficial system where all the envoys would post ideas to the wiki, and then they would just sort of be compiled into a report. Like the best, 10, 12 ideas would be compiled. So roughly one per guild. And I like how it is now versus that because it gives a lot less weight to certain people, allows a much more fair distribution of everyone's concerns. So there's also no veto. So even if 99% of the envoys are against it, it can still be submitted. Although every envoy has the right to comment and whatnot. Do I believe envoy wars exist? Yeah, they definitely have, and we try to look out for that. When we notice a lot of people specifically targeting one organization or one guild's skills, like repeatedly, we do notice that. We do take that in consideration when we're deciding on reports. That said, we choke is being fixed. It's being changed soon. It's on the list. My monitor just went blank. That's wonderful. Okay, there we go. Choke is on the list of things to do. What the idea I'm tossing around. I'm not going to go into that quite yet. We may discuss it with players soon, but I'm not gonna talk about choke quite yet. Where was I? I wanted to finish up bugs for a second. So yeah, the bug system, I really like it. Awesome transparency. If you find a bug, please submit it. We like fixing bugs. This entire month of September we've devoted to bug fixing, and we've cut our bug queue. I believe we cut our bug queue in half so far. The total number of resolved bugs has actually been like hitting or above the total number of bugs in the queue. And these are resolved bugs that are just in the system for a while. They don't go away immediately unless you delete them. So we've been doing really well with that. A lot of bugs have been getting fixed, and we want to keep on doing that. We like to keep the bugs low. So, but Lusternia is a very complex game, and it's natural that bugs crop up. Like I do computer science, so I'm used to it. A lot of bugs. There's always bugs. The key is fixing it and fixing it reliably, which is what we try to do. Decision on an Ascendance full refund. I have no idea about Ascendance, the Essence refund. I'm not the person to ask. But if you have questions about demigod abilities, I can answer those. Why the demigod stat bonus was changed to a purchase power for each stat rather than getting the extra +1 to all stats. I just sort of we like the idea of having it be sort of a selected thing. If you're a non-combatant who only influences, it's cooler if you can use those points that you might be forced to put into, let's say, strength, intelligence, things that might directly help you in combat. I mean, you want charisma if you're an influencer, but you could use that instead for a custom teleport message, a custom enter exit message. We have a few more like that. And if you really want the extra, or peevishness, but the extra flavor for your character, it's really cool that you can do that and not be restricted with that. It also means that at a certain point, if you want all the powers, you're going to have to work, not constantly, but you're going to have to work to keep your essence, which I also like. You shouldn't be able to have every power and just sit on it to a degree. Like, I love Karma Blessings personally because they force you to, once you have them, you kind of have to bash to maintain them. So, and if you don't, you just lose your powers. So it's the same kind of idea. Would it be possible for people who have previously accepted shouts buy them back? Okay, so we never erased the pre-approved shouts. So if you were to buy that power right now, it would be ready to go, no issue. The choice shout, rather the custom shout, is already ready to go. We will charge the same essence amount because it still attacks on us in terms of the review process, and that had been reviewed in the past anyway. So we are all still going to maintain that cost even if you have a pre-approved shout, but you don't have to go through the approval process. Just take the power, it's already ready to go. And if it's not, please bug that because that should not be the case. Destruction isn't worth its weight cost. Any way to fix this? I'm not too familiar with destruction, but I know that it's a powerful damage skill, if I remember right. So if there's an issue with it, please bring it up. I know there's a thread for demigod changes, and it's no longer such. Well, why is it no longer such? Why would it be no longer such? It's based on skill level. Was it based on skill level in Ascendance, or that's why? Okay, we can look into that. I'm gonna write that as a note with my like keyword here. Destruction skill set level. Yeah, we can look into that because all that should be normalized. For instance, when Beast Mastery replaced Riding, I know there were a few cases where it's still using old Beast levels, like stuff like that. That's a bug and should be normalized. But I'm not going to guarantee levels are going to be the same as they were. So, what are the chances of demigods being allowed to take ascendant powers? They are naturally limited by a smaller weight. Well, right now we do allow one kind of demigod to take an ascendant power, and that's the vernal demigod. A vernal demigod can have one ascendant power. So at the present time, we're not looking into demigods being able to take ascendant powers. But I'm not saying it'll never happen. Just right now, we're not going to be doing that. Okay, was there another question I just missed? Will Cantors get an overhaul? Well, there was a Starham report that was submitted. It's on the list, so it should be looked at soon, and maybe that will boost the presence of the guild. I'm not sure, but the skills are going to be looked at soon. If a vernal demigod loses demigod and retains demigod, will they be a vernal demigod again? No, they lose vernal demigod. So that's the answer for that one. It kind of sucks, but they lose it for good. Yeah, it kind of does suck. They need to maintain it. And the credit is wild. Aegis' weight cost. All these weight costs, if you want to start a new thread now, since it's been in the game for a while, of requests for the current system, because most of the issues before have since been resolved. The weight issues were all changed. If you want to make a new thread today, right now, about issues that still exist, like the destruction issue, like the, I guess, Aegis weight cost issue, you can do it right now, and we'll look into that. Okay, someone on forums brought up summon resistance, making it like mass salve in the other IRE games. I don't think we're going to do that at this point. I kind of like how it's not all or nothing, and we don't. The defense stripping isn't like it is in the other games. So, as of right now, it's staying the same. We will look into how the numbers are working, though. I know there were issues coming up where people were saying that it's very hard to actually land a resist. It's just easy to push people around. And I know we boosted Red and Malkuth. I believe it's Red for low magic. I was never a low magic person, so yeah, okay, it's Red. Cool. I remember my skills. We did boost that, but if there's still a problem with that, we can look into size. Bad luck. Bad luck's also on the list, and that will be looked at. I don't think that's the only way you can reliably balance all the summon skills. I think summon relative to size is fine, within a degree. I don't think it should be all or nothing personally, but it should have varying, there should be like a varying relationship. How come Q stance is not stance right away if you're able to stance already? There's a small chance of the Q stance coming through after you've recovered balance server side. I'm not too familiar with Q stance, but if it's an issue that Think an Envoy could envoy, you could envoy it and we could fix that. Yeah. Q stance can be done off balance. Oh, that's the ability that automatically stances when... okay. I remember this ability now. Yeah, it's the ability that's used when someone is in like a kata form and you want to immediately change stance before you start the next one. Yeah, I guess it doesn't currently change your stance, it only changes your future stance. So that's the way it currently works. Xavius, I just answered this. Like, the average day in the life of a coder is at an hour, I will log in. If I have a special project, yeah, you missed it. If I have a special project, I will work on that special project wherever I am. So let's say in October, I'm going to be doing a racial revamp, and I will log in and work on that, and maybe for like an hour or two at a time. And if I'm doing bugs, bugs are fun because you can do them anywhere. and apparently there's a thread now for the demigod changes, so if anyone wants to post it. Okay. There is also a request on